gentlemen, to Unorganized Play. Today we're doing the unboxing of the brand new Path to Glory two-person starter box for Dark Age, presented by Cool Mini or Not. I am Jonathan Wojcik.
I'm Chris Hodge.
Andrew Wong.
Between the three of us, we have 4 Immortal wins underneath our belt, and we feel like we are the go-to people to be talking about, the new and great upcoming things that are coming to the Dark Age universe. So let's crack this thing open and see what you guys are going to be able to get out of this box.
So as soon as you open the box, first thing that you'll notice is that you get a ton of templates. Now if we could just pop this out real fast. To start it out, you get some... Assuming you own no rulers whatsoever, it gives you some basic, inches here. The game actually used to be played in centimeters. Thank you for the change to inches in America. Sorry for the international community. We won, the metric system lost. Outside of the movement sticks, you get a concrete slab, size medium, heavy cover wall. And this is actually pretty good because it blatantly tells you the size of the wall. So basically you don't have to have any in-house disputes of height, size versus models. It tells you this is a medium wall, this is a pile of rubble, cover rough. It basically spells out for you exactly what you're going to have affecting your gameplay.
Now, the other great thing about this is straight out of the box, you don't need any physical terrain. This is going to be your terrain for your battlefield. You can easily play it on a kitchen table, on the floor somewhere, and you can easily pop this straight out of the box, all in one, and go, okay, this is our terrain.
Right after that, you're going to see it comes with a bunch of templates. Now, anyone who's played a tabletop game before knows that, be it Warhammer, Dark Age, Wrath of Kings, any game, they have tons of templates that you have to throw down at any given time. They have your large blast, your medium blast, small blast, flamer stream, flamer spray, and then a bunch of basically these are objective counters, right? So in this game, there's a lot of secondary objectives and primary objectives, and that's how you basically score and win missions. It's not always just straight kill your opponent. And it gives you objective counters, so that way you don't have to buy things. Again, you could buy fancier objective counters, but straight out of the box, if you're popping out terrain, you can pop out objective counters, and it's simple as that.
And following the templates, you have your 3 little advertisements, and you have the quick start rules, which is a mighty what? Wow, it's a fold out.
Three flip pages.
3 flip pages. So even if you have a 3rd grade reading level, you should be able to get through 3 or 4 pages of rules. A small 2-player starter scenario to just get you started on the game. Easy basic setup. It even suggests how you should put your terrain onto the table. And then an advert just to visit the Dark Age website to look at the store or the forums to get a little bit more informed about the game that you're about to play.
Next we crack into the box, we've got 6 D20s. The entire game is run on a D20 system. Opposite of D&D or most role-playing games where low is better. You want to roll low on your D20s rather than high. And the way the rules work is multiple modifiers will adjust what you're rolling on these dice. But again, straight out of the box, you can start playing with only this purchase.
It should also be noted that most of the times you probably only need like 1 or 2 D20s, so you have a bunch of different ones. In case one pisses you off the table it goes, 5 left in the bag.
Yep. John, now I know that people have bought up, and you even bought it up, that on the back of the box, it says there's something in there, and we have to point out that it's not. So.
Yes, Cool Mini or Not is fully aware that the plastic wound markers are not in a good majority of the starter boxes. This was a problem that they found out after they went to market by the distributor, that they basically forgot to put them in. But if you'd like to, you can easily contact Cool Mini or Not at coolminiornot.com and get in touch with any of the people there, and they will send you your wound markers. So,
also, if you want to buy just a ton of them, like I know I have, not just for Dark Age for any miniature game or any board game even, they sell them. Look under Arcadia Quest, and you get, I think, Arcadia Quest wound markers, and you get about 60 of them for $10, which is really cool. Like I said, Sometimes you want to use it for different games or just as reminders, and I think they're pretty useful.
Yeah.
I bought a bunch, so.
Yeah, we'll easily show you right up here what they actually do look like, so you can see the good quality. They are sadly missed out of the box, but again, if you just contact CMON or not, they will send them to you free of charge.
And the good news is they're not vital to gameplay, so you won't be hindered from playing the game just because they're not included in this box.
Then we break into the real nuts and bolts. You have your basically your character cards, your
Profile cards.
your profile cards. Yes, I was trying to blank on one for every single model that is coming in this box, and all of their abilities as well as all of their equipment, all of their skills are all on these cards. Again, besides for your 3-page quick start rulebook, this is all you need straight out of the box.
Yeah, so it's really convenient because it has its points cost, its special abilities, all of the statistics,
Spells.
where it belongs. It even has a picture on the card itself. So you know, like, oh, a centipede. I know exactly what that looks like because, you know, there's a picture on there, like I said, relevant stats, special abilities, even with a cool little quote. And on the back, it explains, you know, its size, how many you can have, force constrictions, and it actually has all the special rules written out. So on one nifty thing, you kind of keep track of everything, all in one.
So also included in these cards, just to let you know what is actually going to be in the box, there's 2 different factions. There are the Dragiri Icecast, and there are the Forsaken. Now, for those with no background in the story or anything, think of it as the Dragiri as big scary aliens, and Forsaken as your run-of-the-mill humans. But obviously, there's differing stats and different sizes of guys, different types of guys, different types of equipment. And like John pointed out, along with these cards, which if you get it close enough where you can just see, here's like one of the big bad guys from the Dragiri Icecast, where it has all the rules printed on there. The Dragiri also have these things called psychogenics, where they have guys who can basically cast spells. And the good thing about it is they also made cards for the psychogenics.
I could always post it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll post it right here.
Okay, so we'll post it up
I
there.
know it's somewhere in the
So
cloud.
basically, it's the spells, so that way you're not flipping back and forth between reference material. You can literally just pull the card out for the spell that you want and leave it on the table as you're playing, so that way you can always just look down at it, know exactly what you can do, and go from there. So just ease of play.
And last but not least, we've got the models themselves. CMON or not has actually brought most of their models now into a plastic, almost resin type material, rather than using a pewter metal. They found that they can actually get more detail out of the molds and be able to use the molds easier by printing these models in plastic rather than in pewter. Now, I know Drew does have, you know, a single tear shed for this because he likes that heavy feel of the model. What's your opinion on the change?
I hate pewter miniatures. I do. I love plastic miniatures, and there's a very simple reason why. I have very unsteady hands, so when I'm gluing models together, I always found it easier to glue plastic models together just because they're easier to glue. I like to play the games more than the hobbying aspect of the games. So I want to get my stuff put together, painted, and on the table as fast as I can, versus someone like Drew who prefers to look at the beauty of things. So plastic models for me, they're a lot easier to put together. You know, I have.
No, the other great thing about plastic models is that also the lack of weight makes it a lot more easy to move, makes it a lot more
Cheaper.
not only that just cheaper, but it makes it a lot easier to carry around and move rather than lugging around pounds and pounds of metal.
Oh, as much as I love metal models, and I do, I love all of my miniature games in metal, preferably, you know, at the end of the day, when I'm carrying my bag, I definitely have, like, rips across my bag from all of the weight of the metal models. I mean, it's a pain I happily endure, but I see there is, you know, good things about plastic, too, especially it's come a long way. Models aren't losing a lot of their detail now. They're being cast in a lot smaller pieces, and they're retaining a lot of their detail and sharpness, which was one of my original gripes of not liking plastics, was when we first started playing and we were talking about when we started getting into the hobby around 98, plastic models had detail, but I always felt model models had more detail. Now they're actually starting to catch up between the resin plastic mix or whatever it is that they use. So I'm not that displeased that they're plastic now.
And this isn't like the fine cast plastic. This isn't
No.
like if you leave it out in your car, it's going to bubble and
Explode.
Yeah, it's not going to look terrible. In fact, I was actually, while Drew was talking, I picked up one of the models, and I was first amazed how much detail they got in it, and I'm sure we'll go over this, but it's only 2 pieces, so for me, again, that's great. I hate.
It's not 4 hours of gluing 2 arms together.
Exactly.
And that's mainly your 2 arms glued together, not the models.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, luckily, the guys at CMON are absolutely great, and they actually color-coded the models to know who belongs to which faction. If you completely know nothing about the game, you know blue guys go with blue guys, and orange guys go with orange guys.
And that's great because all you need is glue, and you could actually just glue them onto their base, glue them together really quickly. It seems like a lot of them are 1 or 2 piece cast models.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this one has 3, but they are a lot simpler to put together, which is great. Get them on the table, and like I said, since they're color coded, you obviously know which side's which.
Yeah, you don't even need to worry about painting them right away if you want to crack open a box and just start playing. Not only that, these are what I refer to as pop mold models, where they literally will pop together and 9 times out of 10 hold themselves without actually using any glue.
Yeah, I think the only glue part you would need is to the base.
No, actually, can we open one of these?
Yeah, you can open.
So we got this is one of the ice cast figures. There's a knife here. You do it again. Unsteady hands. I don't want to.
Remember, John, across the street, not down the road.
So this is one of the big guys from the ice cast. That's let's see which.
I believe this is the Death Device.
It's no Death Device didn't have the halberd.
Oh, Soul Seeker.
Yeah. So it is literally a head and the full body. That's it.
Body, head.
Just one pops into the other. Hey, look, John just assembled a model.
Model's done.
Now, if you flip it down like that, so at the bottom of these, they have little pegs. So if you've ever played any of the other games, whether it was either a flat base or a slotted base where there was a bar running at the bottom of the model, there's not even that. It's literally just pop it into the base. So I'm going to open the bases real fast. I know this guy.
Well, Celia, you do need to make holes.
Yep, and then we can point that out. So, okay, here's Drew. Your part of the hobby now comes in.
Alright, so with this, like I would actually advise, there's no holes on the bottom, so you put the drill holes into it, which is kind of popular. Some people like to put scenic bases in which, that's the whole thing by itself. All you gotta do is cut off the tabs and glue it on. They seem like, for the most part, they have large surface areas to glue, so it should be really easy. Like I said, holding it, this holds a lot of nice, maybe because it's a big chunky model, it holds a lot of detail. It's actually very...
Yeah, let's open a smaller one too. Now, I will say with that, I really do wish that the bases came with the pre-hole punch, because if you're going to give us models with pegs on the feet, you'd hope that there would be a hole in the base, so that way. In an ideal world, again, if this is my biggest complaint, it's not a huge. You can easily, like Drew was saying, just clip off the bottom of those pegs or drill holes into that base.
I noticed with the bases, they're a little bit different. At first, I thought they were the lip bases, but in fact, there's no dip to them. It's just a straight out flat base across.
Okay.
I think this is also because they do a lot of groundwork stuff, which is where they put like the scenic base stuff on. But it's actually actually pretty cool because you could just put a little bit of grass on there if you want. You could even just paint it one color and it's still going to be perfectly fine.
And if you want, you can find groundworks at the store here, somewhere up here,
somewhere in the clouds.
Yeah. So now we've got one of the human models. The human model basically breaks down to 3 pieces. I know we're a little far away, so we'll see if we can get some action up there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a simple 3-piece model. Again, pop in shoulder blade, pop in shoulder blade, and your model's done.
That's actually impressive.
Basically, all you would need is to dab some sort of glue in the holes of both shoulders,
and it'll hold everything together.
And it will hold everything all together, and you're set to go. Basically, drill a little hole in, drill a couple holes in the base, put them in, you're done. You're set.
Yeah, I'll say that drilling isn't for me. I'd probably just take a blade like John has and cut the tabs off the bottom of the feet and then just glue it directly onto the base. Either way is fine. I think the easier way is just to cut the bottoms of the feet if you don't want to be drilling holes. And that's,
For some of the bigger models, you tend to end up drilling things if only because you want that extra stability for the weight of the model. But these are light plastic, very finely detailed for plastics that you can easily just pop and play. The humans, which is one of the saints, Sir Isaac.
Forsaken's their official name.
The Forsaken Sir Isaac. You've got 2 controller models, and I'm assuming the controller models must actually control the centipede models. So you're getting a grand total of 5 models for the Forsaken cast.
So we'll put pictures of each individual guy up here, and basically, if we're allowed to, just put the. I know we're not going to be able to put their stat cards up there because we wouldn't want it out there like that, but we could put the pictures of the models that come. Alongside those 5 that you get for the Forsaken, you get another 4 models for the Dragiri. You get that device of Ice, a Spirit Lord of Ice, and
should be 2 Soul Searchers.
Oh, and 2 Soul Searchers. Let's just check that out. So here's and if you have a perchance to like bigger models versus smaller models, like I know I'm a person that tends to play towards more elite, higher point cost total type of guys. The bigger models typically have a higher point cost, so there's that.
It's also a good thing, 'cause I know you say like bigger models and smaller armies. With the Dragiri, bigger detail is easier to paint.
Yeah, that's another thing. I am very terrible. Again, the unsteady hands. I'm not good at painting either. So again, I'm more about getting the models onto the table and playing. But the Dragiri are my preference here out of these 2 factions. But you have the one that we pop together, and then here we go, and here we go. I know we're not gonna be able to put that.
Now, mind you, out of this box, each side is at perfectly equal points value. It is 450 points worth of Dragiri and 450 points worth of Forsaken. So again, straight out of the box, you and your best friend, your sister, your brother, your mother, your father can easily crack open the box and go, we're on equal playing ground. Comes with terrain, comes with dice, comes with their statistics, how to play. Boom, you're done.
And what's the price point that this box is at right now? This box, with all of its contents, the starter box with the terrain, the dice, the lack of tokens, which will be addressed, but the all the 450 points of each side comes out at a total of
$69.99.
Retail.
That's retail. And that's a really, really good deal because essentially the tournament, if you're a competitive player, and obviously
Even casually, you can
even
say, like,
casually,
most entry-level game, or after you have this, most games where you kind of want a full game experience are the 500 to 750 point cap, and this is 450 points. So even if you got something, you either get something really small, like an additional blister, or you switch out one model, and now you actually make the gap in the extra 50 points.
to make up that extra 50 points to get you from 450 to 500, you're talking an investment of maybe $9.99. Like that's like you can easily get a model for $10 that's 50 points and just plop it in there.
We were even surprised once we saw when we first looked up the price. We thought it was going to be at least $100, as most starter boxes tend to do for most games.
Especially
that's fairly reasonable.
2 factions.
And then when we saw how cheap it was to actually get a mini starter rulebook. And I still believe that the rulebook and some of the rules are still online for free. So
yes, all of the rules, the stat cards, the updates, all of it is on the Dark Age website completely free of charge. And you have full rights to print them out, print out the cards, print out the templates, everything.
And that's actually really good because I know usually when I start a new game, I find one of the 2 of you and we're like, oh, we'll split a box in half.
50-50.
50-50, and we'll wind up, I'll take one faction, you take the other, and we go from there. This, if you split it in half with a friend, you're talking an investment of $30 or $40 each. Well, you're figuring with tax, So for $40, you each get a faction, you each get 3 dice, take your cards, and
you don't have to worry
it.
about who owns the rulebook.
Yeah, that's especially since it's online. All right. Yeah. Anything else to add?
So coming in, I know we've been vets. We've kind of been in and out of the game for the last couple of years, but coming in as a veteran and seeing something like this, what are your thoughts?
I'm thinking for a brand new player that knows nothing about the game, even if they just want to try it out, a $70 investment for the amount of models and actual working pieces that you get is a steal. You could literally drop $70 on this and never ever play it again, and it would still be worth it just to have the 9 models.
And I'll add to that, if I was a hobbyist and I just like to paint things, I know, Drew, that's more your forte, but if I just like to paint these are really beautiful models. And on top of that, the setting of Dark Age is based off of the artwork of Brahm. I'm not sure if everyone out there is familiar, but if you are, it's really cool stuff. And if you just wanted to paint some of that, bring it to life, for display purposes, that's awesome. I mean, I would buy this. And talking to someone who's been, like you guys were saying, in and out of the game for the past 3 years, if I'm starting up again, I'm buying this box.
Well said.
Yeah.
Alright guys, well that's it for this unboxing. Hopefully you guys check out Dark Age at darkage.com. I think darkage-age.com.
Yeah, because
And or check the Cool Mini or Not store. They should have links there. Go to the forums, check it out. Let us know what you think. Write comments down below. Subscribe if you like. And ciao from the Unorganized Game crew.